In this video, I want to talk about the psychology behind being arrogant. Now, arrogance and confidence are two very different things, but we might get them confused for the same thing. There's a lot of people that see arrogant people and think that those people are confident when nothing could be further from the truth. And the way that you can discern the two is by looking at the person's behavior. Arrogant people are very loud, very boastful, very demeaning, right? They take up space, they want to be seen. Versus confident people are usually a little more mysterious, more quiet, more kind, more self-assured. They don't feel the need to be boastful and show-offy and all that because they are self-assured. The confidence is something that comes from within. Arrogance is, hey, look at me, give me validation, I'm important. That's the difference. One is not truly feeling worthy. It's looking for other people to validate their self-worth by acting boastful and acting grandiose, versus one is, I really do feel like I'm worthy inside of me. And I don't feel the need to have to go around showing off and boasting that to other people because I know it's true. So these are two very, very different things. Arrogance is one of the traits of narcissistic personality. Pretty much anyone who has strong narcissistic personality traits exhibits this type of arrogant behavior. Arrogance is a coping mechanism at the end of the day. It's used to cover insecurities, and it doesn't actually resolve the underlying insecurity, nor does it actually build true confidence. Arrogant people are constantly in competition with everybody. They're constantly comparing themselves. They're very jealous of other people. And so because they view the world through that lens, they think that everybody thinks the way that they do. And they find superiority in anything that they feel like they've exceeded you in. Being in competition with others is not a good motivator. It's not a good motivator for success. It's not a good motivator for confidence or anything of that nature, because there will always be someone that's doing better than you in something. That is the truth. That is the reality. So if you outshining someone is your main motivator, you're gonna be left feeling insignificant when you compare yourself to someone who has accomplished something more than you, which there will always be someone who's accomplished more than you. So that's why comparison is the thief of joy. It does us no good because it'll never allow us to enjoy our accomplishments, because we're always trying to one up other people, which is what arrogant people are constantly engaged in, which is why it's impossible for them to have true confidence if they're going down this pathway of constant comparison. Confidence is knowing that my accomplishments are important, I am worthy, and giving ourselves credit for the things that we do, regardless and outside of what other people are doing, because what other people do does not affect our lives. What we're doing is what's important. So confident people get labeled as arrogant all the time by arrogant people, because the confident person doesn't engage in the competition, grandiose, boasting thing that the arrogant person's doing. They're more quiet, they're more observant, they listen, they don't engage in that kind of thing. They're not braggy, they're not boastful, they're not arrogant. And that threatens an arrogant person because they pick up on that person's true confidence, that threatens their fake confidence, and that makes them feel inferior. The confident person, by not engaging in the arrogant person's petty tactics of one-upping one another, by not engaging in that, the arrogant person is left feeling like there's no one to compete with, right? And they need that competition to feel secure, to feel superior, because they need something to compare themselves to, right? So if you have two arrogant people going at it, competing, boasting, bragging, right? And then one of them feels superior because they came up on top or they're better in some way, that boosts the arrogant person's ego and kind of like, pats them on the back because they need that outside validation to feel good about themselves. Whereas when they're dealing with someone who is confident people don't do that, right? Confident people don't go into petty power struggles with arrogant people. So that leaves the arrogant person thinking, man, that person is stuck up. Or, oh, they think they're all that. Even though confident people don't go around boasting like the arrogant person does. But they see that true confidence, and that threatens them. That threatens their ego because it doesn't give the arrogant person the opportunity to feel superior on the backs of other people. Confident people always use discretion and discernment during social interactions, whereas arrogant people lack the emotional intelligence to read the room or to understand what's appropriate, what's inappropriate to say. They don't mind saying demeaning, cruel, rude, mean, offensive things if it means that that's going to help them feel superior in the social interaction. Confident people don't do that. They're very sensitive to people's feelings. They don't want to hurt people's feelings. They don't have a need to feel superior to others, right? To feel good about themselves like an arrogant person does. So you'll never find them going around demeaning people and talking down to people like you'll find an arrogant person doing. So to those of us who are more empathetic or sensitive to others, we can feel really icky or even repulsed by an arrogant person's behavior because it signals to us a character defect that's concerning, right? Especially because we're very sensitive to not hurting other people's feelings and things that shouldn't be said because they're rude or mean or demeaning. Arrogant people don't have that social filter, nor do they care, because to them, there's a means to an end, the end being bolstering their false self, bolstering their ego. If you're vulnerable with an arrogant person or you open up to them about something, be prepared for them to use that very thing against you when they feel like their ego is being challenged. An arrogant person can never stoop too low. So they will try to use something that you confided in them about to hurt you in a situation where they're feeling insecure, right? When their insecurity is activated. Nothing is below them when they're feeling insecure. But them being insecure is not an excuse for them to hurt you. They'll never admit to being insecure or jealous, which is why they're arrogant to begin with, right? This arrogance is their way of protecting themselves from facing who they really are and working on themselves to build real confidence, right? Because you can't build real confidence if we don't look at our insecurities, if we don't look at our flaws. And that's totally normal. We're human. We all have that. Nobody is immune to feeling insecure, even confident people, right? It's a human emotion. It comes up, but it's really about how we cope with that feeling of insecurity, what we do with it that makes all the difference in our lives. And being arrogant, let me tell you, is not the answer. So arrogant people, instead of working on themselves, they try to mask their insecurity with haughty behavior. So they'll never admit to their mistakes. They'll never be vulnerable because they prioritize being perceived as superior by others. So they believe they have to be perfect and have no faults whatsoever in order to maintain that image of superiority, right? But for those of us who see through that, it takes away their humanity and it makes them appear cold and completely disconnected because nobody is perfect and everybody struggles with something. Being vulnerable is a major factor in forming genuine connections with other people. So when someone completely avoids being vulnerable, it can feel really off-putting and it can prevent the arrogant person from ever having genuine connection with others, which can be very isolating. I hope this video helped to break down the differences between arrogant behavior and confident behavior to help you spot it better in your life, because you will come across a lot of arrogant people, unfortunately, and hopefully you'll come across some truly confident people as well. Thank you so much for watching this video, and thank you for allowing me to be on this healing journey with you. I'll see you in the next one.